Hey, I'm Chris from Stratford Media, and today I'm going to walk you through creating your first Facebook lead gen campaign step by step without skipping a single step. In the past, collecting lead information online was kind of a chore. The user had to click your ad, wait for your landing page to load, fill out the form piece by piece, and then click the submit button. Well, Facebook has taken care of a lot of the legwork involved in filling forms out in two very important ways. The first way is the fact that when you click a lead gen ad, the form loads automatically wherever the user is, whether that's the Facebook app or the Facebook website. So the user's never leaving the Facebook infrastructure. That's important in terms of abandonment. The second way is the fact that the fields are pre-populated in most cases with the information that the user gave Facebook when the account was open. So if you're trying to collect first name, last name, email address, that information is already populated on the form. So the user just clicks the ad, reviews the information that's pre-populated on the form fields, and then clicks submit. So let's take a look at my screen and we'll get started building these ads. And starting here, you're given the choice to choose your campaign's objective. So we have brand awareness, reach, traffic, engagement, app installs, video views, lead generation, messages, conversions, catalog sales, and store visits. One thing you should know is that different people are actually using different versions of the platform at different times. So if your screen looks different from this, don't worry. One thing for sure is you'll definitely have lead generation as an option. So we're going to click that. We're going to name our campaign. And we're going to click continue. Now we could use create a split test, we could use budget optimization, but for the purpose of your very first one, it's best to just kind of go in without getting too granular. So now we're at the ad set level. So think of this as the overall campaign information. The ad set is really your targeting and your money. And then your ads are obviously the pieces of creative that your audience is going to see. So we're going to select us. And we're going to name this ad set. What I like to do is I like to name the ad set after the audience. Usually when we run campaigns for customers, we're running multiple ad sets because we're running multiple audiences just to see which performs best. So we're going to call this Home from Vacation. Next step here is to select your location. Now this is super important, especially if you have a business that has a specific service area. So if you're a carpet cleaner or if you're a delivery service of some kind, you obviously want to be within your target area. So let's use the example of, say, a pizza place. We're going to want to be within our area. Now, our shop is located in beautiful downtown Haleiwa, Hawaii. So let's use the city of Haleiwa plus 10 miles. Now, something really cool that we can track along the sidebar here is the fact that Facebook is going to track the size of the audience. And as we narrow this down further and further, the size of the audience is going to get smaller and smaller. So right now, we're looking at everybody between the ages of 18 and 65 who live or work or are within 10 miles of Haleiwa, Hawaii, and that's 69,000 people. Let's narrow that down just a little bit. Let's say we are looking for our customer who is usually 36 to 60. And that's 25,000 people because we live in a relatively rural part of the island. If that was just men, that would be 11,000. If that was just women, that would be 14,000. And those audiences are kind of getting a little small, so we want to widen that just a bit. We'll say 28 to 65 plus in all. And that's 46,000 people, and we have to use some detailed targeting. So let's... Instead of searching for everything one-off like vacation rental, summer vacation movie, National Lampoon, blah, 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 what we can really do is look at all of the demographics, interests, behaviors of the audience we're looking for. So let's go to behaviors. And let's go to travel. And we're going to select returned from travels 1 week ago. This is just an example of some of the people that you can reach on Facebook. So it's a fairly small audience, but it's a pretty powerful one too. If we wanted to get even more granular, say we had a larger audience like nationwide. So nationwide, including Alaska and Hawaii, we have 7,100,000 people who are in the United States, ages 28 through 65 plus, who have returned from travel within the past 1 or 2 weeks. Now, let's narrow that even further and say that those people have to have an interest in Hawaii. This means that they are interested in pages and web pages, Facebook pages and web pages that are Hawaii related. There's also some other third-party data that suggests they might be interested in Hawaii. So back from vacation, they're interested in Hawaii. That's 650,000 people. That's still a huge audience. So let's narrow that even further. We'll use, let's pretend we're selling photographic prints. So now we're going to say photography. And fine art. Now we're down to 520,000 people. We could continue to narrow this down even further. We could also exclude people. If I'm looking for people who want to hang photography up on their walls, I'm going to say that we don't want photographers because they're, let's face it, only interested in their own work. So job title. You get the gist. So we're narrowing this down piece by piece every single step of the way. Now that's pretty good. That's a pretty decent audience. And this guide says your audience selection is fairly broad, but for this purpose of this demonstration, I think that's probably as detailed as we want to get. Now, the next step here is giving you the option to select a connection type. If you have a lot of followers on Facebook, what you can do is select friends of people who like your page. What this does, friends of people who like your page, this is an excellent piece of targeting to use because when the ad is presented to your audience, it actually tells the audience member which friend likes your page. You've probably seen this before for some of the bigger brands, but you too have this at your fingertips. What's so great about this is the fact that you're essentially letting your other followers be a referral for you. So that's one option for connections. And if you're trying to really, really grow your base, you can also exclude the people who like your page because they're already seeing your content. So let's clear that out. Placements is important. You always want to edit your placements because there's some ad inventory like right column stuff, the marketplace that is really just not a good fit. It's lower level inventory. You want the good real estate, and the best real estate for lead gen is Facebook feeds. So we're going to actually unclick Instagram too because Instagram is a really good awareness channel, but in terms of direct attribution and engagement, it's not super fantastic. So let's stick with Facebook feeds. We do sometimes run lead gen with Instagram included, but that gets its own ad set. so that we can better track, how well people are following along on Instagram. So on mobile devices, we can exclude Android, or we can exclude iOS if we want. A great time to use that feature is when you have an app that's specific to the App Store. So we're going to use all mobile devices. We're going to set a lifetime budget, because it's really easy to get tripped up with daily budgets. We're going to set a lifetime budget of $500. And we're going to run from, tomorrow's date to a month ahead. For the purpose of this video, we're going to just use lowest cost. You can also set a target cost. Once you get more experience with lead gens, you're going to know what your target cost per lead is, or you're going to know the value of one lead once you start getting some conversions. So then you can set that there and say, you know what, a lead to me is worth $35. So I'm going to set that as my goal. But lowest cost is letting Facebook's algorithm get those leads for you at the lowest cost per lead possible. Ad scheduling is pretty cool when you're running an ad with the call us now call to action, and you want calls coming into the business when the business is open. So you can set a schedule here. But to be honest, letting Facebook decide is oftentimes the best case. So I like to run ads all the time. And then we're going to click continue. And now we've created our objective. We set our audience, our budget, and our placements, or the location of where the ads are going to show up. Now it's time to get into the ads. So if you've got an ad, you can upload it here. If you don't, you can select from the Shutterstock library that Facebook has access to, and that doesn't cost you anything, which is excellent. So we're going to use a picture of a sunset. And this is just a filler, but that's beautiful. Check that out. Okay. And I like this one. We're going to add that. It's always best to have at least 3 ads, because Facebook can then, figure out who your best performers are. And that's pretty cool too. We're going to click done. The text is important. This is the messaging that goes above the ad. So we're going to say, let your memories live on with Amy's incredible photography on canvas or metal print. The headline is going to be save 30% when you order today. Now, with a long headline like that, it's going to bleed into the second line. If you have a shorter headline, then you can have a newsfeed link description, which is just smaller text that goes below the headline. Free shipping today only. Order your prints today. Let's see how that looks. Not too bad. By the way, this little note here says watermark won't appear in the final ad image. That's something to remember. So it won't be saying Shutterstock when your audience sees it online. The call to action button is extremely important. Right now, the choices are apply now, download, get quote, learn more, sign up, and subscribe. For the purpose of purchasing something, we probably want to do learn more. And we're going to create a new form. You have the choice of more volume or higher intent. Higher intent adds an extra step so that you can be double sure that the people filling out the form know they're filling out a form and know what they're filling the form out for. There's also the higher volume, which just means you get slightly more leads at maybe slightly less quality. So this is the default. I like more volume. This is what I like to work with because I like to keep the steps as low as possible before clicking that submit button. We're going to call this photo lead form. And we're going to get rid of the intro. And we're going to give this a headline. Let us know who you are. I'm going to uncheck these, and we're going to take a look at all of the options. Now, these are great because in most cases, this is information that Facebook has on all of its users right off the bat. So we usually want to stick to first name. If you have an email drip campaign, then you're going to want that first name field because then you can personalize the emails. You want to do last name and email address. You can also create custom questions like what color do you like better? Red, blue, or green? So there you have that. But we're not going to need that for this. So we're going to delete that question. And we're going to have first name, last name, and email address. Privacy policy is, in order to collect information, you're going to have to reference a privacy policy somewhere. So we happen to have one. So we're going to reference ours, stratfordmedia.com/privacy-policy. And we're just going to call this privacy right there. So the user can reference Facebook's data policy and our privacy policy. And then we have a thank you screen. Thanks, you're all set. Your information has been sent to Stratford Media. Tap below to visit their website. You can create a button that says download. If you're using a lead magnet, for example, they can download it here. I wouldn't recommend that, though. We'll get into that in a second. And then we have call business, which can be a direct call the company. So I like those, but we're going to do view website. We're going to keep that text view website. You can go check us out online. You can make it say whatever you want. And then we'll just send them to the Stratford Media homepage in this case. So that is the form. Now we click finish. And the lead form is set. All right, so now we're going to confirm all of our details. You'll see a recommendation here to get form responses instantly. You can also duplicate the ad, but if you click continue right here, your campaign is set in motion. Okay, so let's talk about that connecting the leads to a CRM step, which it is important, but it's not totally necessary. When we run lead gen campaigns for our clients, we connect it to a CRM, which gives us some extra functionality. Let's say we're using a lead magnet, like a white paper or some kind of tutorial like this one, for example. What we like to do is we send a notification to the client saying they have a new lead, and we also send the information that the lead requested via email. So instead of giving them that information right off the bat, perhaps they're going to use dummy information. We don't want them to get their lead magnet content unless they've given a valid email address. So setting up a CRM allows you to do that. But for the purpose of this overview, we're going to show you how to collect your leads manually using publication tools. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so you have been running your lead gen campaign, and you see in the ads manager that some leads have been coming in. So the question is, how do I access them? And it's not a super straightforward process. Facebook doesn't make it easy because they want you to connect to a CRM automatically. So let's walk you through that. You're in your business manager. You're actually looking at your own business profile. And you across the top here, you want to go to Publishing Tools. And then down here on the side, we're going to see lead ads forms. There's the forms library, lead setup, etc. So let's go to the forms library. There is our photo lead form. If you had some leads, it would look like this. You can download those leads. You would select a date range, or you could, you could come back to this every day and just download the leads that have yet to be downloaded. So we're going to do that, and we're going to select either CSV or Excel, doesn't really matter. And clicking that will create a download that you can open up in Excel and review your leads. And that is how you access lead information. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or run into any issues along the way, I'd love to talk to you. My email address is chris@straffordmedia.com, or you could give us a call at 808-757-9296. Have a great day.